Hello and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be ranking all the coasters at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. Of course, you've got some great coasters such as Revolution, you've got the big one, and you've also got some great family rides such as the Rugrats, or there is Avatar Airbender if you're looking for a bit more thrill. So yeah, it's a great park, listeners. Of course, there is also some bad rides. So in 10th place we have Steeplechase, and normally this would be replaced by Blue Flyer, but since Blue Flyer isn't aimed at my kind of age range, I can instead replace it with Valhalla, which is, even though it's not a coaster. But what Steeplechase is, it's a great aerodynamics coaster. It's a fun racing coaster. Of course, you've got the 3 different tracks, one call it or 2, I personally call it 1. You can call it 2 if you like. It's uncomfortable on some of the turns, but it does look like a fun ride, and it would definitely make for a great icebreaker. And the views, of course, are great from Revolution. In 9th place, we have...
That thing is the roughest thing I've ever ridden.
My review now is a little bit different, though. I think now it's not so bad. Of course, you do have the kind of, when you go over the wave, it's alright, it's nothing to talk about, but I do think the first section is better than the second half. Of course, you do the first section, you go over the first couple of versions, and it's okay, and then you get to over the wave, and it's the point of no return. Is it a great coaster? No. Is it aesthetically pleasing? Yes. Is it the most popular SLC I've seen? Yes. So, I think it's probably for that reason is a good ride for Blackpool Pleasure Beach to have. In 8th place, we have Avalanche. And Avalanche is a Mack bobsled. And what I like about Avalanche is it's not only really well themed, but it does get straight to the point. It's not like some of the ones you do, like the one at Park Asterix, which is probably ridiculously long and it spreads it out. This coaster definitely does pack a punch, and it's probably the best Mack bobsled. The helixes at the end are really intense, and it does make for a good ride. In 7th place, we have a controversial one, Big Dipper. I do like it, and it's a very impressive milestone for the park to have. And on the back, it does have some great airtime, but generally, not a massive fan of the layout, of course, and I really do like how they've painted up the teardrop. In 6th place, we have probably the most controversial one, the big one. Now for me, it's an intimidating looking ride. Its supports and its track do make for a great off-ride look. But for me, I just think it's not the most intense of coasters. It's a little bit rough. It's not as rough as it was once it's been retracked. But for me, it's just not the most intense. It definitely does feel more like you're flying than you're on a coaster. And it's the same sort of situation with Galactica for me. But, I still think it's a great ride. Is it worth the top 5? No, but it does just hit there. I think it does still make for a great ride though. Sitting comfortably in 5th place, we have the Nickelodeon Streak. Now this ride for me just generally is a fun ride, and it's not that exciting until it's a fun ride. It used to be called the Velvet Coaster and then turned to a roller coaster. I think it's the second highest ride in the park, surprisingly. But it looks great, and it doesn't do much for me until you get to the third drop. And at that point, it just becomes an air-filled layout. It's great. You get some great ejector, especially if you are towards the back of the train. And for that reason, it does definitely worth sitting at 5. In 4th place, we have If You Had Spoken to Me. During its construction, I would have spoken otherwise.
Also then it's worth saying that the Valhalla logo has got significantly darker here. Wait for the dragons to breathe fire once more. I really can't.
But now that it's open, Valhalla is a great ride. It's an absolute soaker, first of all. Will it be as bad as Drenched? I don't know. But it definitely is an absolute soaker of a water ride. Do I think it's the most spectacular of rides? No, but its theming makes just such a good ride, and I think the theming really adds to it. Is it an upgrade though? Yes, I'd say, but you have to stay tuned for a full review later on. In third place, sitting comfortably, we have Revolution. It's a great looking ride, especially from off-ride. Short layout, but it's packed full of airtime and packed full, it just delivers. So basically you go down and drop, you get some great air, you go up through a clockwork loop, which is very intense, and then you go back up onto like a launch section where you launch backwards. You get the air on the way down, and then you go back through that loop. It's a great ride. In second place, we have my favourite wooden coaster in the UK. Omegaphobia beat it? I don't know, I know a lot of people say it does. But Grand National is a great ride. I really love the racing element between the two trains. It's amazing how it's like a Mobius loop coaster. And I think it does make for a great ride with some great air, especially when you do those double downs in those bunny hills right at the end when you go under the bridge. And in first place, to no surprise, is the UK's second double launch coaster. It's Icon. It's a great ride. I do love just how smooth of a ride it is. It looks great from off-ride and it's very intense. I love the interaction you get with other rides. It generally is a great ride. I do find the second half a little bit weaker than the first one. It still is a great section and there are some great pops of air on it, but I think once you go through the second launch, it's not as good as the first half, because you have the awesome airtime hill. And then the launches don't really have a punch. I'm not a massive fan of the launches. I do have to say Rita is the better launch, unfortunately. But the different elements, call it one of those two. Icon is a great overall coaster, and it is my favourite coaster in the UK, because I haven't done the Swarm, so I can't say. But it does be, Swarm does look like it could beat it, but I think Icon is just a great ride. The tension it builds up in the station with its pumping soundtrack. Of course, I'm a Score, is it? No, it's not. It's not I'm a Score, Helix is I'm a Score. But yeah, that is my reviews of my coasters from Blackpool Pleasure Beach. Would you say different? Do let me know. But thank you for watching today's video, and I'll see you next time.